The Life and Teachings of Guru Lahiri Mahasaya, Vegetarian, in Autobiography of a Yogi, by Paramahansa Yogananda, Vegetarian, Part 2 of 2, on Words of Wisdom. Since its first publication in 1946, the book Autobiography of a Yogi has inspired countless truth seekers around the world. In particular, it was through this book, originally written in English, that many Westerners were introduced to the teachings of meditation and Kriya Yoga. The autobiography contains the exceptional life story of the renowned Indian yogi and enlightened master, Paramahansa Yogananda, Vegetarian, who was born in 1893. In its pages are Yogananda's candid and beautifully expressed accounts of his encounters with many saints and yogis during his youth, about meeting his master Shri Yukteswar, Vegetarian, and training for 10 years under his guidance, and about his coming to the United States of America in 1920. Other highlights from this autobiography are Yogananda's memories of his master's master, the venerated Lahiri Mahasaya, Vegetarian, as well as his meeting with the enlightened master and immortal saint Mahavatar Babaji, Vegetarian. In 1920, Paramahansa Yogananda founded the spiritual organization Self-Realization Fellowship, or SRF, and before that, in 1917, the Yogoda Satsanga Society of India, or YSS. Both still serve as instruments for spreading the teachings of the beloved Master. Today, we learn more about the life and teachings of Guru Lahiri Mahasaya, Vegetarian, from Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, Vegetarian. Chapter 35. The Christ-like Life of Lahiri Mahasaya. The Master's omnipresence was demonstrated one day before a group of disciples who were listening to his exposition of the Bhagavad-gita. As he was explaining the meaning of Kutatasta Chaitanya, or the Christ consciousness in all vibratory creation, Lahiri Mahasaya suddenly gasped and cried out, "I am drowning in the bodies of many souls off the coast of Japan." The next morning, the disciples read a newspaper account of the death of many people whose ship had foundered the preceding day near Japan. The distant disciples of Lahiri Mahasaya were after made aware of his enfolding presence. "I am ever with those who practice Kriya," he said consolingly to disciples who could not remain near him. "I will guide you to the cosmic home through your enlarging perceptions." Swami Satyananda was told by a devotee that, unable to go to Benares, the man had nevertheless received precise Kriya initiation in a dream. Lahiri Mahasaya had appeared to instruct the disciple in answer to his prayers. If a disciple neglected any of his worldly obligations, the master would gently correct and discipline him. Lahiri Mahasaya's words were mild and healing. Even when he was forced to speak openly of a disciple's faults, Shri Yukteswar once told me. He added ruefully, "No disciple ever fled from our master's remarks." I could not help laughing, but I truthfully assured Shri Yukteswar that, sharp or not, his every word was music to my ears. Besides the numerous Benares disciples of Lahiri Mahasaya, hundreds came to him from distant parts of India. He himself traveled to Bengal on several occasions, visiting at the homes of the father-in-law of his two sons. Thus, blessed by his presence, Bengal became honeycombed with small Kriya groups, particularly in the districts of Krishnanagar and Bishnupur. Many silent devotees to this day have kept the invisible current of spiritual meditation flowing. Among many saints who received Kriya from Lahiri Mahasaya may be mentioned the illustrious Swami Bhaskarnanda Saraswati of Benares and the Deogar ascetic of high stature Balananda Brahmachari. For a time, Lahiri Mahasaya served as private tutor to the son of Maharaja Iswari Narayan Sinha Bahadur of Benares. Recognizing the master's spiritual attainment, the Maharaja, as well as his son, sought Kriya initiation, as did the Maharaja Jyotindra Mohan Thakur. A number of Lahiri Mahasaya's disciples with influential worldly position were desirous of expanding the Kriya circle by publicity. The Guru refused his permission. One disciple, the royal physician to the Lord of Benares, started an organized effort to spread the master's name as Kashi Baba, exalted one of Benares. Again, the Guru forbade it. Let the fragrance of the Kriya flower be wafted naturally, without any display, he said. Its seeds will take root in the soil of spiritually fertile hearts. Although the great master did not adopt the system of preaching through the modern medium of an organization or through the printing press, he knew that the power of his message would rise by its own force. The changed and purified lives of devotees were the simple guarantees of the deathless vitality of Kriya. In 1886, 25 years after his Ranikhet initiation, Lahiri Mahasaya was retired on a pension. With his availability in the daytime, disciples sought him out in ever-increasing numbers. The great Guru now sat in silence most of the time. Locked in the tranquil lotus posture, he seldom left his little parlor, even for a walk or to visit other parts of the house. A quiet stream of disciples arrived almost ceaselessly for a darshan, or holy sight, of the Guru. To the awe of all beholders, Lahiri Mahasaya's habitual physiological state exhibited the superhuman features of breathlessness, sleeplessness, cessation of pulse and heartbeat, calm eyes unblinking for hours, and a profound aura of peace. No visitors departed without upliftment of spirit. All knew they had received the silent blessing of a true man of God. The master now permitted his disciple, Panchanan Bhattacharya, to open an Arya mission institution in Calcutta. Here the saintly disciples spread the message of Kriya Yoga and prepared for public benefit certain yogic herbal medicines. In accordance with ancient custom, the master gave to people in general a neem oil for the cure of various diseases. When the Guru requested a disciple to distill the oil, he could easily accomplish the task. If anyone else tried, he would encounter strange difficulties, finding that the medicinal oil had almost evaporated after going through the required distilling process. Evidently, the master's blessing was a necessary ingredient. The Arya Mission Institution undertook the publication of many of the Guru's scriptural commentaries. Like Jesus and other great prophets, Lahiri Mahasaya himself wrote no books, but his penetrating interpretations were recorded and arranged by various disciples. Some of these voluntary amanuenses were more discerning than others in correctly conveying the profound insight of the Guru, yet, on the whole, their efforts were successful. Through their zeal, the world possesses unparalleled commentaries by Lahiri Mahasaya on 26 ancient scriptures. Just as Babaji is among the greatest of avatars, a Mahavatar, and Shri Yukteswar, a Jnana avatar or incarnation of wisdom, so Lahiri Mahasaya may justly be called Yoga avatar or incarnation of yoga. By the standards of both qualitative and quantitative good, he elevated the spiritual level of society. In his power to raise his close disciples to Christ-like stature, and in his wide dissemination of truth among the masses, Lahiri Mahasaya ranks among the saviors of mankind. For more information, please visit Project Gutenberg, gutenberg.org.
Vegan. Imagine living in a world where all we eat and drink tastes like pure nectar with no blood in it.
Noble viewers, it's been a pleasure to have your company for today's words of wisdom.